Hello viewer, we are glad to welcome you to today's episode of Nigeria Today on TNTV. We are reaching you live from our Port Harcourt studio here in Rivers State. Would you want to know that Port Harcourt is Nigeria's garden city, the most beautiful city in this country? Well, we are not here to discuss about Port Harcourt, but here to discuss some trending issues in the country. We are going to share thoughts on two personalities, two controversial Nigerians, controversial indeed, by their actions, even by their names. Today we shall be discussing about a Nigerian senator. He is not married. He is 43 years old. He is known to recently have courted trouble over his actual academic qualifications. We're talking about Senator Dino Melaye. And then, one young boy who is leading an attempt to secede from the Federation of Nigeria, incarcerated for some months, released a few weeks ago. Recently, we saw some photographs of this young man sitting, standing, and some people bowing to him as though he was a deity. I'm talking about the leader of hip-hop, the indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu. Well, we'll discuss about these two gentlemen. Well, I've got them gentlemen until we go deep into the program. But until we do that, we will ask you to stay wherever you are. We shall be back after this time out. The Kurukere man you saw on the screen there is not a person than the controversial Nigerian senator Dino Melaye, who was born in the city of Kanu in northern Nigeria on January 1, 1974. Dino must have, at that time he was in Kanu, decided that he was going to be active in politics, and so as early as that time when he gained admission into the Ahmadu Bello University in Zaria, he joined student unionism and then rose in the ranks of the National Association of Nigerian Students, NANS. From there he became the Secretary General of African Youth Council and then that of the Commonwealth Youth Council. His experience attracted the attention of a former Nigerian president, who then was president actually, because from there, Dino Melaye won the African Youth of the Year award among many other citizens of 54 competing Commonwealth countries in 2005. And after that, former President Olusegun Obasanjo, then who was the sitting president, appointed Dino to chair the Presidential Advisory Council on Youths. And so that shot him more into national limelight. And from there, he moved on the political ladder and radar in Nigeria. Dino studied geography at the university, at the Ahmadu Bello University Zaria, though that had been enmeshed in some recent controversies. Dino has some heart for philanthropy. They say about 30 undergraduates are enjoying scholarship under his Education Empowerment Fund. He has sunk boreholes in some villages in his constituency. Remember, he represents the Kogi West Senatorial District in Kogi State. He has also donated drugs worth several millions to hospitals in various villages, and has instituted a continuous widow empowerment program. Yes, Dino does not have only the heart to play politics and sing kurukure, but he also has the heart to share charity among the less privileged and poor citizens of his constituency or his senatorial districts. But that's not all about the man known more with his posh cars. He has several cars that automobiles that some of them or most of them have Dino as a registration number. You can see them on the screen there, and many have questioned his source of wealth to have acquired such exotic posh cars. But Dino has claimed he made enough money to have such automobile parked in his premises under his garage. You can see them on the screen. That's part of his life that have made him controversial to many Nigerians who think and question why a senator should have such posh cars when millions of Nigerians and even his constituents are swimming in the ocean of chronic poverty. Well, we leave Dino to his posh vehicles, and we move on with his political career. How far has he fed? Does he have further ambitions? Yes. He has boasted he will one day become Nigerian president. How that will work out? Well, Nigerians are watching to see. As a senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, it's been alleged that Dino runs at least one non-foreign account in the US. And Nigeria's Code of Conduct Bureau strongly and clearly prohibits the use of foreign accounts by elected and public officials. One transaction that Melaye had been accused of doing is with the Bank of America debit card as an approved payment to a New York-based Schweiger dermatology for $1,000. Some people may say it's only $1,000, but that's one of the proofs that abound that Dino flouts national codes that prohibits elected and public officials operating any foreign account while they remain in that public office. The company describes itself as a medical and cosmetic dermatology service offering a variety of skin healthcare service needs and services. Melaye has repeatedly dodged questions that he operates those bank accounts despite evidence provided, including transaction dates, bank statements, card numbers, and location of the transactions. You know, while that was raging around him, Melaye went some time to criticize the former governor of Edo State, Comrade Adams Oshomele, for marrying a non-Nigerian lady. Melaye said the former governor imported his wife rather than marrying a Nigerian woman. It was a case a matter that attracted comment from Nigerians and even the former governor. However, Dino never apologized. Dino once almost fought a sitting Nigerian senator, Senator Tinubu, and even threatened. Even the senator said it was a joke to impregnate her. And that comment was made on the floor of the Nigerian Senate. We may remind you here that Senator Tinubu is the wife of a national leader of Dino Melaye's party, the All Progressives Congress. That matter settled down, but not after it had garnered responses from women and even men who condemned Dino for such comments against a woman. They accused him rather of being anti-feminist. Yes, being anti-feminist. If not, why would he threaten to impregnate another man's wife and a fellow senator over an issue that some people said occurred on the floor of the Nigerian Senate? Now, moving on to another aspect of his life that has been controversial. Does Dino Melaye have a genuine degree in geography from ABU Zaria? That had been a controversy, though the school authorities fought to checkmate it by appearing on the Senate to confirm that actually he graduated with a degree in geography, even though the dates on both the degree certificate and the date he said he passed out from the NYSC camp, they all vary. As you can see on the screen, Dino Melaye is yet to convince Nigerians that actually he has an authentic, genuine certificate in geography. Not only that, why that was raging, Dino went ahead to claim he has degrees from prestigious Boston-based Ivy League Harvard University in the US. That school quickly responded by debunking Dino's claims. Why that was he on? Dino, who might face severe criminal charges that might undermine his political career if such scandals should prevail outrightly, denies these claims. However, his colleague and a former majority leader of his party, and that's Senator Alin Dume, called for Dino to be probed. Melaye claims not only that he graduated legitimately from ABU Zaria, but also that he successfully earned 7 degrees. 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 from various other institutions around the world. Among them are Harvard's University, Kennedy School for Educational Leadership, and London School of Economics and Political Science. A claim that has since been refuted by both institutions. And Dino Melaye is till date yet to provide a convincing proof that he actually has degrees from those Ivy League institutions. However, to put a bit of a paint to Melaye's claims, one of the schools, Harvard, claimed that Melaye only attended a 1-week professional development course in late 2016.
Truth and nothing but the truth, so help me God.
Bring it here, please. Well, I didn't ask you to stop each other.
It's Melaye Daniel Dino, and that is why I will survive this lion's den. I know. I also have here a document for my registration that I tendered, where I have C5 in CRS, A3 in Agric, C6 in Economics, C6 in Geography, C6 in Biology, and a credit in English. I will also tender that as evidence. I also want to tender that after my graduation from Ahmadu Bello University, the Ahmadu Bello University Zaria sent my name to the NYSC for the mandatory service corps, and I participated in the 1-year NYSC. I served in Police College Kaduna, and by the grace of God that year I won the national prize of the DG, and it's on record and verifiable, and this is my discharge certificate from NYSC. I beg to tender. After that, in pursuance of to further my education, I applied that my transcript from Ahmadu Bello University be sent to the University of Jos, where I did Law, Security and Conflict Management, and Ahmadu Bello University sent my transcript to University of Jos. I also asked for my transcript to be sent to the University of Abuja, where I got admission to study Masters in Policy Analysis. I am through with my academic work. I'm working now on my thesis, and that's also verifiable. When I went back to Ahmadu Bello University, again I got admission into Ahmadu Bello University to also study Masters in International Relations and Diplomacy. But because I'm already known all over as Dino Melaye, my name as an undergraduate was Daniel Jonah Melaye. Jonah is actually my father's name. So that was what I used throughout my university, and that's what I have on my university certificate. But because I'm now popularly known more as Dino, I applied to the court and asked that I needed an affidavit for change of name before my admission. And here it's under oath, I submitted this to the University of to Ahmadu Bello University, that if I have your permission, I can just read one paragraph there. It says that I have been bearing Daniel Jonah Melaye since birth, and now I want to be called Dino Melaye, and that I now want the general public and authority concerned to take note of this conscientiously believing same to be true and not in contravention of the virtual provision of the Oath Act in 1990, stamped by a competent high court, and I tendered this to Ahmadu Bello University. After tendering this to Ahmadu Bello University, I filled my course form. And then this is my admission by Ahmadu Bello University to study Masters in International Relations and Diplomacy that I have successfully completed. Last year again, I applied for another Masters in Ahmadu Bello University, and I was offered admission to study Masters in Law Enforcement and Criminal Justice. And that admission was granted. This is the admission letter to study a second Master in the Ahmadu Bello University, and I have completed my registration. I've been attending my lectures, and I will also tender my ID card as a student for my first Masters, and my current ID card as a student right now studying Law Enforcement and Criminal Justice, MSc, in the Faculty of Political Science, Faculty of Social Science in Ahmadu Bello University. Mr. Chairman, I also came here with a copy. I'm not tendering it, but I came here with it, and I have a copy of the attestation page. This is my project, final year project in Ahmadu Bello University, duly signed by my head of department and the Faculty of Arts, as it was then called. I also have here my thesis for my Masters in Ahmadu Bello University, where I studied international relations and diplomacy. These theses also have been duly signed by my supervisor, the faculty, and the head of department. With every sense of responsibility, Mr. Chairman, sir, and my colleagues, I make bold to say I am proud.
Dino Melaye added some comic relief to the controversy surrounding whether he actually has a genuine certificate from the Ahmadu Bello University Zaria. What you saw on your screen, he became a one-day professor. He appeared on the floor robed in an academic gown. In fact, that time a professor from the University of Lagos condemned Dino for that. He said when it was either Dino went and borrowed that robe because it was not a professorial robe, the man argued. It was something that those who are matriculating, who are doing their matriculation, will often wear. But Nigerians saw that Dino just did that to add comic relief to detention. That was in the country after he held a press conference which he saw where he tendered certificates, his thesis, and all was not. Well, Dino will not be detached, I doubt, from controversy. And who knows, tomorrow, more of such controversies will still come around him. Well, to salvage the situation, the Vice Chancellor of Ahmadu Bello University was on the floor of the Senate and said that and confirmed that Senator Dino Melaye graduated from the school, although under a different name, which also Dino shared in that press briefing which we showed you the clip. So gradually the controversy died down, but we wouldn't think it has completely died down because some other time Nigerians trust them will still resurrect it. And moving to another aspect of his controversial lifestyle, he recently launched a book, surprisingly, in the area that most Nigerians would say, even Dino is among the prophets also. We shall give you a detail of that when we come back after this short break. Please go nowhere.
Truth and nothing but the truth, so help me God.
Controversial Dino last week extended the boundaries of his controversy in Nigeria when 2 weeks to that day he had given notice he was going to launch a book and asked me, a book in which field? Anti-corruption. Amazing. Nigerians were shouting amazing. You can see in the clip we have there, sorry, that's the book launch. Check out the faces there. Most of the faces you are seeing there are Nigerians who are currently under the light of investigation either by ICPC or the EFCC. Yet, Dino said his book was Antidotes for Corruption, the Nigerian Story. Antidote for corruption, the Nigerian story. And Nigerians will say, they'll say in the Bible, is Saul also among the prophets? Is Dino now a Nigerian to proffer solutions or antidotes to tell Nigerians this is the way, the right way to fight corruption? Well, the book is about 600 pages, and surprisingly, Dino didn't have the support of the two major agencies in Nigeria that fight corruption or that investigate corruption, the EFCC and the ICPC. Those who were in attendance, prominent Nigerians were in attendance, included a former First Lady that is currently fighting AFCC and Nigerian banks to give her back large sums of money recovered in bank accounts she claimed belonged to her. Nigerians may not be shocked at his presence because Dino was this person that seconded the motion for his election as the Senate President against what their party, the APC, had arranged. And so ever since then, Bukola Saraki has been like 6 and half a dozen with Dino Melaye. You can see the Labour Minister, Chris Ngige. I don't know whether it's under any investigation for now. Maybe he's may come later. Gali Omanalba, a former Speaker of the Federal House of Representatives, was there. Anyan Paras, and the man who was accused of using the Century City project in Abuja when he was the LGF to corner millions, allegedly anyway, even billions of naira. He is under investigation. You had Idris Wada, a former Kogi State Governor, Atahiru Bafarawa, a former Sokoto State Governor, and several senators who, some of them, have been enemies to the EFCC. No wonder some of them didn't allow the screening of Ibrahim Magu, the EFCC chairman, to scale through. Saraki condemned, ICPC condemned EFCC for what he said, sensationalization of the anti-corruption war. He thinks that Dino Melaye, his friend and pal, and the Senate has the antidote. Well, Nigerians are watching to see how this matter will end. But we are not marketing his book, but we don't want to know more what is the content. You may go for a copy of that book. When we come back, we shall step into the territory of Biafra, and we shall be meeting the leader of IPOP and the director of Radio Biafra based in London, Chief, they say it's a Chief, Nnamdi Kanu. Please don't go anywhere. We shall be back with Biafra. Thank you.
Anyway, I have no tester to see people, human mind. Thank you. I'm already working on the volume 2 of this book. The fight against corruption in this country is total, and the battle to get corruption out of this country is a battle of no retreat, no surrender. And I want to assure Nigerians that I will not in any way get disenchanted or disillusioned by distractions, and that the battle to fight corruption for me is total. Anyway.
Jubilating on hearing the news of Nnamdi Kanu announced. Look at the male joy of a bell. The joy of a male bell. How will it be when Biafra will be announced? As you can see, Biafrans are rejoicing. Hold Let's go. It's okay. Jubilating on hearing the news of Nnamdi Kanu being granted bail. Today being the 25th day of...
Some years ago, a certain radio station hit the Nigerian airwave, broadcasting secessionist songs, slogans. Before long, a voice began to speak. That voice began to ginger people to see Nigeria as a fraud done by the British in 1914. They also said that that so-called fraud was made to last for only 100 years, and by the calculation that the fraud had expired, meaning that whatever held Nigeria together as a federation of states had expired, and so people who constituted this country could go their various ways, and so that for them they were asking that certain sections of the country should be allowed to go on their own and be called Biafra. And before you could know it, the leader of that movement was a young man from Abia State, based in London, United Kingdom, named Nnamdi Kanu. It was not what the Nigerian Federation, Nigerian government could overlook. Youths, women, in fact, it was a mass movement of people. You could see them on the streets of Oka, Onisha, Aba, Newi, Owerri, even here in Port Harcourt. One of those days, they passed through our office with their flags, chanting Nzobu, Nzobu, Enyimba, Enyi, and all other songs that showed they were agitating for Biafra. And so, on social media, there are several pro-Biafra groups, all anchored on the agitation of Carlo that the southeast, the states in the southeast, south, should be allowed to go back to Biafra. And don't forget, there was a civil war, 3-year civil war, that led to carnage, killing of over 1 million people, starvation, kwashoko, hunger in the eastern part of Nigeria, led by late Chukwuemeka Odumegwu, who asked for Biafra. Nigerians then crushed mercilessly that agitation, and Biafra was laid to rest. But Nnamdi Kanu says Biafra has not been killed, and so he was arrested and charged for treason, for running an illegal radio stations, the Radio Biafra, and also for leading what government says was an illegal organization, the indigenous people of Biafra. So he had several charges slammed on him and was detained. More than 1.5 years he was incarcerated. He made several court appearances, but for him on April 28th this year he was released from jail on what people called stringent bail conditions, which included bringing a cleric, a rabbi from either Israel or anyone who has such who occupied such a position or has such rank in the Jewish religion. But Nnamdi, when people thought he wouldn't meet up the bail conditions, actually did, and he was released. As you saw on that short grab on the TV, on the screen, you saw old women, you saw young people flying the flags, some lying on the ground, and he went home. Most recently, within the week, Nigerians began to see some photos of strange things, that some young men visited him. We don't know where, whether his home or London home or UK Abuja home, and we are prostrating as if they were worshipping a deity. And Nigerians took to the social media, newspapers, saying, what sort of thing is this? Some were even asking, oh, that's what the young man was agitating for, to be worshipped, to be bowed down to. Some said, however, that it's a way of those youths showing their appreciation to Nnamdi Kanu for his efforts to galvanize the people of the Southeast for them to demand for their Biafra. But a lot of questions. Is he imagined to be a new chi among the Igbo? But the Igbos are known to be Republican. They never worship any man or anybody. Whatever is the matter, or whatever it may be, Nigerians are watching to see what becomes of Nnamdi Kanu and his Biafra agitation in the weeks ahead. He is expected to return to the courts very soon to continue with the charges slammed against him.
Is that what that woman was saying now?
Oh my God.
No secret trial. No secret trial. Whatever sort of secret is not allowed. No secret trial. I'm not going to accept it. I'm not going to subject myself to any secret trial. I can never. No secret trial. No secret trial. No secret trial.
We are not Nigerians. He's a son of Yahweh. We are campers. He's a son of Yahweh. The first son of my father. The first son of my father is 100 years old. And Nigeria is 55 years old. What was the name of the country? Allow him now. This is why Nigeria is fight. My senior brother is 100 years old. Nigeria is 25 years old. What was the name of Nigeria when my brother was born? My elder brother is 100 years old. Nigeria is 56 years old. What was the name when my elder brother was born? That is my question. That is what I'm saying. And the name of my place was Biafra. It's okay now, my brother. I think he's going to the motor.
If it turns out now they are fighting, I wouldn't want that to happen. You understand?
Darkness cannot comprehend light. Yes, you have the right of the world. Nnamdi Kanu is the right of the world, and everywhere is chosen. Because of one man, everywhere is chosen. Everybody is not afraid. Let him release this man. And the city
We just showed you some court scenes where Nnamdi was besieged by his supporters. You could hear them say they are Biafrans, they're not Nigerians. It's just their own way of expressing some discontentment with maybe the economic situation in Nigeria. They know. Well, what does the future hold for Nnamdi Kanu and his Biafra group? We just hope that time will tell. Well, viewers, that's it for this week on Nigeria Today on TNTV. Keep on watching, and we have interesting programs for you. Shortly after now, you will enjoy our news and other programs. Would you want to be part of what we are doing? Would you want to watch us on our various platforms? Please do well to do so, as you can see on the screen there. From me here in, watch us live on the Neighbourhood newspaper or the Neighbourhood live all on Facebook. Watch us on YouTube, the Neighbourhood TV, that's on YouTube. You can also watch us on our website, TNTVOnline.com. Drop your comments, share our programs. Let us hear from you. Thank you for being there from here in our humble studio in Port Harcourt. Thank you. See you same time, same day, by God's grace, next Wednesday. Bye. From all of us here. But before you go, let me say that it's been a beautiful time with you. Some hidden fingers have made that possible. We have Damien had on the camera, we have Tans, and we have Chinwe. They all have been here to make you enjoy today's program. They have been here to make me happy, to make me feel relaxed, to make me feel at home. I am grateful to them. I'm grateful to you too who have been watching. Thank you. Bye. See you.